Hi friends, it's just about 9 months to go for CAT 26 and many of you are starting in preparation now. And you're a little anxious about is it enough time? How do we do it? How do we plan our schedule? How can we balance the sections and all? So I'm here to help you with all these things. So this is broadly that we are going to cover in this. Understand the three phases of preparation. Now, any CAT preparation, irrespective of where you're starting, when you're starting, would have three phases broadly. So I'm going to talk about them: how to use mocks, when to start taking mock tests, how to utilize them optimally. So this is one question that bothers a lot of people. So I'm going to talk about that. Balancing the three subjects, it's QA, VARC, and LRDI. So how do you balance them? The importance of consistency, importance of revision, the importance of being flexible, because there would be unforeseen events, things that you cannot anticipate in advance. So how to take into account all that for your preparation, and how to avoid burnout, how to avoid doing those common long term mistakes. So this is the agenda of the session. I'll be very short, very crisp, and I'm going to guide you through it. Right. So the first thing, obviously, would be about phase one. When does it start? So assuming that you're starting now at this stage, you've got around 9 months. So if we divide it into months that way, so we start from March and we would go till November. So it's roughly 9 months that way. So the first phase would be, though, I mean, if somebody starts late, then these timelines would change. But for somebody starting now at this stage, it would be roughly three phases, and the first one would be March, April, May. So what do you do here? In the first phase, the focus would be on fundamentals, building your fundamentals, learning the concepts, not running after speed. I'm assuming that you're somebody who has not done much till now, right? And that's why we're talking about the elaborate strategy, not looking at other people who have been preparing for some time and comparing your preparation level with those people's preparation level. Right? I understand this is an aptitude test, so many things that you are expected to do here, you already know that. Basic English, maths, even calculations and all, some puzzles and everything, you know it. But still, the first 3 months, 4 months, and I'd not be very. Look, if you ask me, I would say this phase would be roughly March to May, you can say that. But yes, a few days here and there, a few weeks here and there doesn't make a problem. It's not an issue, right? So in these 3 months, get yourself conditioned to taking CAT. Make yourself familiar with the paper. So many of you, when you start your prep, you did not realize that you have not seen the paper ever. You don't do it because you are so engrossed in your studies, in your in doing your books, your lectures, and the practice papers and the tests, that you forget to look at the actual papers. So this is the time when you actually look at the papers. You get conditioned to CAT. You familiarize yourself with the pattern of the paper, the pattern of the questions, and all the stuff like that. At the same time, you're doing your lectures, you're doing the practice sheets, some bit of tests, sectional tests or topic tests. So if you do percentage, for example, you will do some tests on it. Try doing some questions on your own. So this is the part that you do in the first phase of your preparation, and for you it should last for the next 3 months. So March, April, May, some bit of June can also be there. So this is when the focus should be on the clarity of concepts, on accuracy, on getting the questions right, on making yourself disciplined. Fine. So this is where you form the good habit. So if you are somebody who's giving CAT, you're 24 hours, so it will not be 24 hours. But if you're saying that I'll give 8 hours to CAT, so this is the time where you give, you make yourself conditioned to this routine wherein you give 8 hours daily. And then gradually, when you reach towards this part of it, towards May, you start doing some sectional tests as well. So you start with topics, go through the lectures, do the practice sheets, take topic tests, and then you gradually start moving toward the sectional tests. I don't think you'll be able to complete the full syllabus in these 3 months, right? And that's why these phases would be overlapping: phase one, phase two, phase three. So this is phase one. I'm going to talk about phase two now. Now, this is when your syllabus, a majority of the syllabus, a substantial part of the syllabus is already done, and you have started taking some sectional tests as well, right? So since CAT is an aptitude test, there'll be stuff in the syllabus which, if you have not done also, then still you can attempt some parts of it. So for example, if you look at LRDI, there is no strict syllabus, there are types. So if you're introduced roughly to all the question types, then you can start taking the sectional tests as well. Now, phase two would be when you are in the process of completing the syllabus, and at the same time, you have started taking sectional tests, and you are gradually getting comfortable with the idea of taking full length tests systematically. So it's not that you get into taking full length tests when you have not completed even half a syllabus. But if 60-70% is done, you can start getting into it gradually, and this is where you start familiarizing yourself with the full length tests, with the pressure of taking a full length test. It's different. When you take a 20-minute test, it's different from taking a 40-minute test, which is different from taking a 2-hour test. So this is where you start doing all that. This is the time when you start analyzing your preparation and looking at gaps. So some topic that you probably did long back. So for example, profit and loss or simple interest, compound interest, which you did long back. Now, when you look back at it, you realize, no, this is not strong enough. So then you will work on it and try and fix the topic, right? So these are the things that you do in the second phase. Complete your syllabus and look at the gaps from the previous phase when you started, and plug the gaps there. And there should be no holes in your preparation as such. So this is the time when you do it. At the same time, you would work on your speed, on your question selection, on your time control. What is the meaning? In the first phase, I said, you don't look at speed, build your concept. So you should know the concept first. If you don't understand the basics of profit and loss, how will you do the questions fast? So this is the part that you do in first phase. In the second phase, now you're saying, I've already done 200 questions of profit and loss or simple interest, compound interest. How can I do them fast? I've already done 100 sets of LRDI. Now, when I'm getting them right, how can I do them fast? How can I put a timer and say, how many sets can I do within 15 minutes? So this is the phase when you do all this. So you complete your syllabus and you start working in speed, start working under some time pressure, start taking sectional tests, and also start introducing yourself gradually, making yourself comfortable with the idea of taking full length mock tests. So this happens in phase two of your preparation. And the third one would be phase three. Now phase three here would be that I said, okay, so I'll put the timeline here as well. That was March, April, May. So this can last from June to August, roughly. It would be this time. And after that, the next 3 months, because this is 9 months, we'll do it 3 months. And this would be September to November. November end would be at, I believe, November 29 this time, right? So this would be your third phase. In this phase, your syllabus would have been finished 100%. You have to, if you're starting now, your syllabus would be finished in August sometime, right? So September, October, November would be to refine your preparation, to polish your preparation, fine. Refine your test taking strategies, refine your question selection, do any things that you're not very comfortable with earlier. I'll tell you something. When you look at this preparation, people would say topic A is weak for me, topic B is strong for me. There are things that we get naturally, I understand, but there are things on which we need to work a little more. So it may happen that topic A took you X hours to master, and topic B took you 3x hours. So that's natural. I mean, some things come to you naturally, some things you acquire by brute force. Do that. It's required. Fine. So don't leave anything like that. So look back at your preparation of phase one, phase two, and see, are there still some things that are bothering me? Fix them now, in September itself, not in the month of November. So this is what you are expected to do in phase three. What else do you do? When you're taking mocks, in some mock you'll get a 98 percentile, in some mocks you'll get an 85 percentile. You look back at your mock test scores and see where exactly am I going wrong? What do I do better in the tests in which I score more? What do I do, or what blunders do I do, or how do I mess up those tests in which I ended up with just an 80 percentile? For example, this is just an example. This is all relative, right? So what exactly is happening with me? You do all this in phase three. So you start taking mock tests. By the time I'm talking about full length mock tests, your 60-70% is syllabus is done, at least this much, right? So for people starting now, that can be somewhere in July, June, when you can start taking full length mock tests. Before that, stick to topic tests. Topic tests you can do straight away, right? And then sectional tests. But full length mock tests, not before doing even half the syllabus, is not such a good idea. You can take a couple of them, that's fine. I'll not be very prescriptive, because it's still an aptitude test. These are things that are familiar to you. You can, with some smart question selection, actually do them as well. But now here would be the time to actually get into the mock tests mode, September, October, November, and you have to gradually increase their frequency. One more thing, this is the time when, in place of running after doing a lot of new questions, though it's very important, you have to first think about consolidating whatever you have learned over this phase of time, over this period, right? So it's important that you are very thorough with whatever you have done earlier. So whenever you think about getting into some new stuff, some new book, some new test series, something like that, just ask yourself this question first: have I done all what I was given first, or all what I asked myself to do initially thoroughly already? If the answer is yes, if you've done it, by all means go. But you don't know properly what you thought you would do initially, and then you're getting into new stuff, it doesn't make much sense. So what would I say? Prioritize revision over new expansion. What is this? This would be doing new stuff. New questions, all right, do them. New LRDI sets, do them. But are you thorough with the first 200, 300 sets you do? No. So if somebody asks them, or if something similar comes in CAT, would you be comfortable doing it? Ask yourself this question. If the answer is yes, do new stuff. Fine. So what is important is doing whatever you're doing with 100% attention, 100% focus. Depth is very important. It'll be checked here, it'll be checked in your interviews. When you take mock tests, just make sure that you analyze them thoroughly. Right? It's very important. So it's not just like taking a test. Starting from the topic tests right now, when you take a test, just look back at it and think, what did I do wrong here? Did I make any silly mistakes? I was given 20 minutes. It was a 10 question test. Did I pick the right 7 or 8 questions, or did I pick the questions randomly? Ask yourself these questions right at this stage, and then it'll become a habit, which will pay rich dividends as you move forward. Right? What else do you do here? You eliminate all those things, all those mistakes, all those repeated mistakes that you keep doing, all those inefficiencies, like picking the wrong questions, fine, making that same calculation mistake, same calculation error again. These are the things. So focus on consistency and on delivering in tests at this stage. So I'll put it like this: phase 1, 2, 3. 1, you start. 2, you end your syllabus and start taking tests. And 3, it's all test taking and refining your strategy. So 1 and 2 would be mostly about acquiring new skills, learning new things. And 3 would be acquiring the skill of converting that knowledge into marks. I'll put it this way. I'm just briefly going to talk about the things that apply to all 3 phases. Fine, and I've just put them in bullet points so that you don't forget them. Start mock test on time and increase frequency gradually. So if you start in May, June, fine, you can probably just take 2 mock tests just to see where you stand right now. And as you move towards CAT, you can start taking 2 or 3 mock tests in a week also. That'll work. So don't just jump into it. Take a test and see where you stand. Work on it and then take the next one. This is really important. Analyze every test very, very thoroughly. Maintains balance across all sections. What does that mean? It means that if you think your LRDI is weak, it doesn't mean that 4 days out of 7 you keep doing LRDI. Look, you need to clear the cutoffs of all the sections, I understand, but you also need to score heavily somewhere. So to do that, you need to balance your preparation. In the weaker areas, I need to pull up my game. I need to do better. I need to work on it in a manner that I don't struggle on the day of the exam, so that I can get good calls from all the B schools. But the areas which are strong for you, you cannot do injustice to them. Do well there, prepare well there, stay strong over there. The reason is that these are the sections, these are the areas that are going to give you heavy marks. So just make sure that you do that. Revise. Revision is extremely important. So people do this. Oh, I did this topic in March, April, I've forgotten it. No. As you keep moving forward, the syllabus keeps piling up. You've done 100 things now. So out of these 100 things, how many do you remember now? So along with doing new stuff and test taking and polishing, revision is like extremely important. So just make sure that you keep revising all the time. Another important thing, there'll be breaks, unexpected. You'll fall ill, you're human, right? There'll be festivals, there'll be marriages, and there'll be some travel, you need time to unwind. So just keep into account all these things. So when you plan, keep some cushions, keep some buffer with you, right? So just make sure that you plan out your things in a manner so that you can stick to it. You can meet your deadlines. No use making plans if you cannot execute them properly, right? This is extremely important. Consistency matters more than short bursts of intensity. What does that mean? I don't want to study for 15 hours a day for the next 4 days and then say, I'm done. I'm very exhausted. I'm not going to study for next 5 days. No. I would rather say study for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever your schedule allows on a daily basis, and then stick to it. Of course, there'll be days when you'll not feel like working, you'll not be in a mood to work. That's okay. But consistency is the thing, consistency and discipline over that super motivated self of yourself for the next 1 week and then not studying for a month. That doesn't work. This preparation is such that it requires you to make it a part of life. So do it daily, the way you brush your teeth, right? And do all the three sections daily, ideally. So I'll not be very prescriptive according to your work routines. You can plan your studies, but what I'm trying to say is you should be regular with all the three sections, and you should be regular with your studies in general. Do it daily, whatever your schedule allows. If it's 4 5 hours, fine. If it's 8 hours, very good. If it's 10 hours, wonderful. You are super motivated. But do it on a regular basis in all three subjects. These planned light days are important. What does that mean? If you're, let's say, studying for 8 hours daily and super motivated for it, give yourself a day once in a while in which you'll study for 3 4 hours. Go for a movie, catch up with your friends, go and play cricket, do something like that. You'll avoid burnout that way. It'll not look like life is so sad, so bad, so gloomy. So give yourself time like that. But it doesn't mean that you go into wild partying. Don't do that. That's important. And one last thing, you need to stay flexible. What is the meaning of staying flexible? It'll happen at times that you'll not be able to meet your deadlines, right? So what will you do in that case? You would tweak your plans slightly. Execution is really important. So your planning doesn't make any sense if you cannot stick to it. So if you think it's going haywire, if you think you're not able to do it properly, what do? You tweak the plan slightly. So example, if your target is to do 3 RC passages daily, for example, I think it doesn't leave you with enough time to do quant and LRDI. What would you do? You make it two, and then you try and stick to it. So it's better to make plans that you can stick to rather than making super ambitious, over ambitious plans that are going to falter. So it's important. You stick to this for the next 9 months, and everything is going to be good. There's one important thing that I want to tell you. We are going to start with an all English batch soon. Many of you wanted to study in English because of multiple reasons. You feel like it's going to be good for you when you go to B school. You belong to a place where Hindi was not your first language. You're not very comfortable. So we do English batches, but this is one English batch. So Ravi sir, Vapoor sir, Nikita ma'am, and I would be taking it. So you'll find the complete details of this batch on our website. You go through it and you will understand this. The subject-wise batches are also available. So if you want, they'll be taken by Ravi sir and Apoorv sir. English would be by Nikita ma'am, and I would be taking along with Apoorv sir LRDI in this batch.